Packing a new 3-litre petrol V6 with under 400 horsepower and over 580 Newton meters of torque, the new Ford Ranger Raptor aims to elevate the bar yet again in terms of performance pickups. My name is AIMAN ABDULLAH. This is Malaysian Motoring. This is a very quick walk around of the new Ford Ranger Raptor. Now, the Ranger Raptor is ultimately a Ranger dialed up to 11. And with the new bold face of this latest generation, as you can see, it's been made a lot more aggressive. You now get a more aggressive front bumper, improving the approach angle, as well as flared fenders in order to accommodate the much wider wheels. And you can probably hear the sound of that wonderful V6. Now, in all four corners, you will find 17-inch alloy wheels wrapped in BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, behind which sits Fox 2.5 shocks. Now with adaptive technology, using the camera to be able to read the road and adapt itself up to 500 times a second. You also get unique Raptor skid plates and side steps in order to allow better ingress and egress out of the car. And at the rear, again, you have much wider rear arches, giving this car a much more planted stance than before, while not compromising this car's load carrying capabilities. Now, inside the new Ranger Raptor, it takes upon the technological advancements of the Ranger and dials it up. So you get the portrait-style sync infotainment system here with a new digital instrument cluster with fantastic graphics. Very, very pretty and befitting a car that costs almost 260,000 ringgit. And in terms of material quality in here, everything is quite nice. It's all built not only to feel plush, but also to feel very sturdy. So you know that parts like these will last a very long time. One of the highlights for me is, again, the material quality. So you've got these red highlights both on the trim as well as on the seats. You also have Alcantara on the seats and even the dash front, again, to improve the interior ambience a little bit more. You even get electric seats on both sides, and you get a Bang & Olufsen stereo in this. Which pickup truck can offer something like that? Now, the thing about the Raptor is that because it is built off of the Ranger, it is ultimately a vehicle that's meant to be versatile. So on top of it being very involving and very comfortable for the driver, it is still involving and comfortable for rear passengers, where you have two ISOFIX mounts, a decent amount of legroom and headroom, and a pretty good angle, so you can actually sit in this car over longer distances. And thanks to selectable drive modes with adaptive suspension, it means that this car is now more comfortable and more pliant on the road while still being decently good to drive, as we will find out in the test drive. Alright, now we are behind the wheel of the new Ranger Raptor. Now, the amazing thing about this car is, if we look at the previous generation, it gave us an immense amount of tractability and versatility, in the sense that you have a car that is comfortable and reasonable to drive on a daily basis, but also had the performance to boot. So we have a very short test drive with this new generation model, and now we're going out in normal mode, and as you can hear, there isn't really much in terms of sound. There's a little bit of V6 noise coming from the back and a little bit from the front, but it is relatively muted. And these new Fox shocks with watt connection, watt linkage, means that they are actually adjustable. They will adjust up to 500 times a second if need be, ensuring that you have just the right kind of damping when you're looking for it. Now that we're coming off the road, however, I'm going to switch this into Sport, which I can do by normal, Sport. Now in Sport mode, immediately, now that the road is straight, you can hear we've got a bit more noise. Now the 10-speed automatic gearbox has always been very eager to kick down, and you can definitely tell, whoa, the turn of speed on this car is fantastic. So under the bonnet, the 3-litre V6 produces just under 400 horsepower and 583 Newton meters of torque, with power going to a permanent all-wheel drive system, as mentioned in the Walkaround. And as a result, it means that this car has excellent all-weather performance as necessary on a rather wet day like today. Now, in terms of the way this car feels, because these shocks are now adjustable, it means that you now have a much straighter, flatter experience. So when you hit the throttle, the car no longer will pitch, because the rear suspension will firm up to ensure that the car remains nice and level. It also means that when you hit the brakes and the car has to slow down, it will blip the throttle, so you have a little bit more audible drama. Now, we know what this car can do off-road. Ford has been very, very public about that, and there's plenty of material to suggest the same thing too. But what has always amazed me about the Ranger Raptor is the fact that on the road it is just as fantastic to drive. The Ranger Raptor is as much of a truck as it is a sports vehicle. And it means that even when the conditions get tough, you can still manage to get everything under control. The traction control system in this car is also worth mentioning because every new Ranger comes smarter and even more innovative than before. And the traction control system in this car is designed to ensure that it gives you maximum traction when you want it. Unless, of course, you're in Baja mode where it needs to allow a decent amount of slip in order to get you off of low traction situations. Now, what can I tell you from this very short drive? Through the corners, the Ranger Raptor does not drive like any other pickup truck out there. It remains so level and so steady, even in comfort mode, which means that this is a car that you can really trust when you're trying to do long miles especially. It's very predictable and very, very easy to live with. Now, the big question for a lot of you is in terms of whether or not this engine is now worth the money. We know the previous generation model came with a 2-litre turbo diesel, a very easy engine to live with for Malaysians, and now we've got a 3-litre V6. It's very smooth, it's very punchy. Fuel consumption, well, we can't really talk about that because this particular car has been hammered through the hands of multiple motoring journalists today, and so it's not exactly representative of what you'll see in the real world. But I imagine with the 10-speed automatic gearbox, it should remain pretty reasonable if you are. Ooh, but that noise though. The fact that you're getting a noise like this in a pickup truck is insane. So is it worth the money? Well, we'll have to wait for the conclusion for that one, so stay tuned in the video. Now, with the new Raptor, we also have to talk about the price. Because these cars are now a lot more comprehensively equipped, both in terms of powertrain as well as safety systems, with a full suite of active safety features in the new Ranger Raptor, prices have gone up ever so slightly as well. The new Ranger Raptor is available from 259,888 ringgit, including a 5-year warranty, although that is extendable for an additional price to bring it up to a 7-year warranty. But we have very little concern in terms of success because we know that this car will be very, very popular with buyers with the initial allocation already pre-booked. Let us know what you think about the new Ranger Raptor in the comment section below. Do you like the styling? And more importantly, what do you think of the new 3-litre V6, how it sounds and how it feels? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, stay safe.